5 minutes. We'll start with Constance Every. Ms. Every, if you could come to the podium, please state your name and address for the record, and you have up to 5 minutes to address the council.
My name is Constance Every, 301 North Charlie Drive, Knoxville, Tennessee. I came here today to really speak in a welcome approach. Welcome, new administration. Welcome to the game. However, we have gotten here and already some very interesting things have came up on this agenda. I want to go back to that $100,000 particularly. I find it interesting that the stench of Dylan Williams is still very strong. And the reality is that you all want to spend $100,000 on recruitment when that $100,000 should really go into cleaning house. So we have a cultural problem going to our police department that has still not been addressed. Addition to the fact, we have not forgotten about the body camera. Why are we still not talking about that? You know, one of the critical pieces about the Dylan case was that we didn't have enough video footage. We had witnesses, cell phones, and the storylines of people who were there that told us what they knew and how it went. But we never had hard evidence of any form to prove anything. Addition to the fact, I find it already disturbing because I'm going to hold you accountable, India. You told the public, I want to improve public relationships between the police department and the community. Under Evil Thomas' watch, we have had numerous officers. I want to call out Bible because he was the one that was having sex with his co-worker's own wife, and that came out. You know, these are the things we're talking about. And yet, you all think it's appropriate to spend $100,000 in recruitment. I got a question. Those promotional cards that they've been riding around in, how much money was that? You know, I just keep looking at how we are wasting money, still, continuous to do that. And then they talked about the payroll factors, which some of the council members brought up. We have teachers who don't even make nowhere near $40,000, who spend their own money because they need supplies in the classroom because we're not providing that with our tax dollars. And these are the things that this council has continued to do and continue to show. So my question is, what's different? And the answer is nothing. 92% of the police forces is white male. How diversified does that make us look compared to surrounding counties? I'm sure the numbers are not really that different because we know across the nation, police forces are predominantly white male. So the reality is we are still not addressing the realities of the situation we are facing. That's still a problem. And I'm still going to say what I said from day one. Eva Thompson should have been removed from her position, period. And that didn't happen. So that tells me these relationships that you adamantly said you was going to do something about are not going to change. It's going to continue. I would like to know what children are you talking to about being a police officer? Because the children I talk to have zero interest in being a police officer. They want to take political office so they can do something about the police officer, the children I talk to. In addition to the fact, I still have a disturbance of many other places. We still are facing gentrification. I just sat here recently and watched the Clayton family approve $1 million museum dropping into our community that we don't want there. I mean, the list continues to be long and unaccounted for. So I guess my thing for the new administration, welcome. The problems are still quite prevalent and still sitting here. And the reality is that don't put the pressure on Amelia Parker to be the only representation of voice. You still need to come talk to us. You still need to sit down and meet with us. Amelia's not going to have every single answer on behalf of the people. Yes, she's the people candidate, but she maintains that relationship of communication with us. Some of you all should probably find out what she's doing that you all have not been doing. Because if you don't continue to address these problems, we will continue to come here. We have went to Capitol Hill. I got the luxury of, because of the outstanding state representative Rick Staples, he brought me to the caucus floor. Let me tell you how empowering that was. People have died for us to be there. My ancestors bled and died for even the African-American representation we have sitting here. So that was a very empowering moment. And it further made me realize the duty we have as activists and the advocates and voices of our people, we must continue that. The reality is that we are willing to move forward to legislation. The reality is that we're willing to move forward with other forms of legislation. And also keep in mind, elections are still going on. So even though you might be sitting here today, newly elected, your turn always comes back. And for those that are getting on to the next election block, keep in mind your turn is coming too. So don't get comfortable. Never get comfortable. And the reality is that while you're talking about pay, KPD makes more money than all of y'all. $24,000 is the set payroll for you all if you want to talk about pay improvement as well. So how about you give yourself a raise before you give them another raise? So again, welcome new council. Welcome to the game.